Good morning, everyone. Today is Declaration Day, Wednesday, October 22nd. And today we will cover YieldMax trades. All right. How's that sound? Just YieldMax trades. Again, still work in progress. But I did the Guesstimania results thumbnail because, they're going to announce, it's a big day, the first real announcement of the true weeklies. They'll announce that at about 6:55 a.m. and we'll still be live then, and we'll go through what they're paying, this, that, and the other thing, and we'll see if we're impressed or if we're crying. All right. So what's Bitcoin doing? Well, yesterday, man, 113 lunchtime, and then wee 108. All right, whatever. Again, it is what it is. All right, let's move on. So again, this is the new file. Good morning, everyone, by the way. Thank you all for being here. I know it's early. I was 5 minutes late, of course, too. But hey, whatever, right? So let's look at the daily compare. Let me zoom in for you guys. Too much, probably. Is that a good zoom? I don't even know. All right, so let's look at, again, we compare some of the funds day in and day out against the underlying, just to see, how it did. All right. Now, MSTR, that they had a good day yesterday. They went up 1.79%. MSTY went up 1.56%. Pretty decent capture. NVIDIA went down 0.81%. NVIDIA went down 0.38%, so not as bad. Coin went down. Coin is just having a rough time, huh? Coin went down 1.5%. And then Coney went down 0.92. Tesla, how you doing? Well, they went down 1.08, and TSLY only went down 0.71. Palantir kind of stayed flat. They went down 0.04%, and Platy went up 0.44. So that's a good day for Platy up in her. SMCI, they went down 0.4%. SMCY went down 0.25. Amazon, they went up. Wow, big day for them. They went up 2.56%. AMZ captured 1.87% of that. Robinhood, they went down 2.92%. Rough day for them. Hui went down as well, but not nearly as much. They only went down 1.73%. AMD, they went down 1.05%. AMDY only went down 0.31%. Not bad. GDX, our gold friend here. Oh, what the heck happened to gold? They went down 9.42%, and GDXY, I mean, they went down pretty hard too. They went down 8.47%. Meta, your favorite app, they went up 0.15%. I can't talk anymore. And then Phoebe went up 0.07. Google went down 2.21%. GUI went down 1.44%. Netflix went up 0.23%. Netflix actually went up more. Netflix went up 0.31%. So that's pretty damn good. We're getting to the end. Apple went up 0.2%, and Aptly beat it, went up 0.22%. MSFT, Microsoft, they went up 0.17%. MSFO went up a hell of a lot more. Wow, 0.64%, not bad. And then we got IBIT up in her. IBIT went up 0.89%, and YBIT captured 0.78 of that. And then two more to go. Mara, they went down 3.18%. Maro went down 2.05%. I added ULTY now. Again, for now, the comparison on ULTY will be the Qs. So the Qs went down 0.03%, and ULTY went down 0.97%. So that's where we'll end it there. Again, let me know if that's okay. These are the main funds. Again, these if you go to, where is it? The ETF info. Maybe it's the stats. I don't even remember. So yeah, I'm trying to. I basically mentioned everyone that's over 100 million in assets under management, because you got to figure These are the most popular. These are what you guys want to see. But feel free to leave feedback. Again, I'll say it again, work in progress spreadsheet. 5-0. Yes, it is. Thank you for being here. It is well, it's not really. I did a little of it with the help of computer geniuses. All right, so let's go to the trades. Let's see how many trades we had actually. I don't think we can go through all of them again. Since you guys are live here, what tickers do you guys want to see? I assume MSTY. Let's take a look at MSTY, and then we'll go from there. MSTY buy to close call. This was expiration date of Friday, so they paid about $1.70, $1.63 to close that. That was a 320. Pretty cheap, right? The stock price is at 301, and then they sold. Well, this is part of, probably their synthetic right here. They were 350, but maybe people sold out of the fund, so they had to close out of the synthetic position. But overall, it was a net a realized loss of 7.9 mil. Now, I did something a little different because I want to show you, and I only did it for MSTY. So I want to show you guys something just so we could take a look together. So Mr. went up 1.79, right? MSTY, they went up 1.56, right? So the question is, how did MSTY go up, right? So I want to be able to show that to you guys. So what I did is, I'm going to have to zoom out actually. Again, something a little different for you. Let me make that a little smaller. So I compared the holdings from 1021 to the holdings on 1022. And then I tracked the change, okay? So basically this last file here, this shows how much MSTY per line item went up or down. Green, it went up. Pink, it went down. So let's look at them individually. So cash went up by $33 million, right? Treasuries went down 29.29, right? So if you go over here again, you can kind of see that everything should line up actually equally. Luckily, I did get lucky that there was no like movement in the line items. But yeah, you could see Treasuries 217 now. It was 246, if that makes sense, right? So it looks like maybe they're moving some money from the Treasuries in preparation of ex-dividend date. All right, coffee time. Oh, I filled that cup. Damn. Little one's awake. He's ready to go. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Here, government bond, whatever, that went down as well. And then these treasuries increased. So I know you guys probably don't care about that. Now here, these, I believe, are representative of the synthetic 51, 34, 29. Because if I go down here, same thing. Okay. So those would be the puts, right? So they went up in value. Okay. Now here's how much MSTR did go up. It went up $5.30. That's 1.79% increase. So when the underlying goes up, the put is going to cost a little less to close out, right? So it did cost, and I'll highlight like one line. It did cost $218 million. Like if we did like a, buy to close put, it would cost $218 million on 1021. All right. Now fast forward to 1022, it now costs 198 million. All right, which is obviously less than 218. And the reason is MSTR did go up in value, which caused this, obviously the put, to be cheaper. Cheaper again to close. It's a negative number, so it's a negative number on essentially our balance sheet on our holdings. So obviously, if that negative number decreases, our market value will increase. All right. Hopefully everyone's following. I can't tell. Let me know in the chat. Same thing here and same thing here. So all of the puts, they did move up in value. Again, negative number, less. Okay. Now, if we look at the calls, that's kind of the reverse, right? So you have the covered calls. You could see, all right, let's look at one, for example. Let's look at the 9,000. So 9,000, we have a $300 covered call. It did cost, well, we could look at the individual price, 703 per share or 6.3 mil. Now it cost 848 or 7.6 mil. And again, covered call went up. It cost more because, well, more to close, I'll say, because MSTR went up in value, right? It's because MSTR is now what? 301. 301 is above 300. The day before, MSTR was at 296. So, it was a little cheaper to close it then. And now, since it's above 300, it's a little more expensive, right? So since it's a little more expensive to close, that's a negative change in market value of 1.3 million. All right. And then so on and so forth with the other covered calls here. As you go down the line, these are all covered calls, right? So you could see the change, right? And then you get to here. Here's an interesting one. 1024. Let's look at this. This one actually went up in value. Let's see. This might be no, it's negative 8,000. Let's see. It's a 320, but that's way out of the money. So the time value actually wore off more so than the increase in the share, if that makes sense. So it cost what? 164 on 1021, and then 160. Oh no, they decreased. Sorry, I stand corrected. Yeah. So they had 8,000 contracts and they decreased. That's why it's a decrease. All right. So they closed some contracts. That's why on that one. And then further down here, now, remember the synthetic went up in value, right? So as does the other part of the synthetic, the long call. And this is the last piece we'll show you. Again, let me know if this is helpful or not. This is just something I'm thinking about, trying to explain why there's movement in MSTY. All right. So again, here's 3 long calls, right? Here's the other part of the synthetic combo, they call it, right? So here's the 51,000 contracts, 1063 per share. That's how much it's worth, 54 mil. So if we scroll to the same line on the following day, same number of contracts, it's now worth 1208. So it goes from 1063 to 1208, or from 54 million to 61 million. So that long call is more valuable. It's $7.4 million more valuable than it was the day before. Same thing with the 345. It's 3.6 million, more valuable, and then the 350, 2.4 million more valuable. So why do you care? Well, look, if you net all of this, right? If you net this, the synthetic, the short calls, you'll get the movement. Actually, might as well highlight the whole thing, right? 39.5 million, which shows here. That's the increase, right? That's the increase in the market value, the assets under management. And if we divide that, which I didn't even do, let's try it out. Divide that by the outstanding shares. Where is, oh, here you go, outstanding shares. That is 13. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. All right. So yeah, that's the change. Maybe I have to do it by the change in outstanding shares. Yeah, no, never mind. Scratch that. We'll figure that part out later. But this is just, again, the overall change in the assets under management. So again, it went from 3.4 mil to 3.5 mil in one day because, well, MSTR did go up in value. So the synthetic went up more in value than the short calls costed you, if that made sense. All right. So again, if we just highlight the synthetic and the covered calls, again, the increase is actually 64.5 million. All right. Again, I don't know if this is something you guys want me to periodically do. Just let me know in the comments after the video, and we'll go from there. All right. Now let's get back to the trades. So we did MSTY. right? But again, I do have the realized detail. So if I go to 1021 here, oh man, this is already becoming a long file. Again, I still think I'm going to use this. Let me go through the important ones. Let's just check out Berk C. Berk C, what'd you do? Buy to close put, sell call. All right, they closed out part of their synthetic. Buy to close call. All right, maybe people sold out of the fund. You can't tell. Well, I mean, you can look at the outstanding shares, but whatever. 19.4 mil. I'm sorry, 19,000 actually, 19,400 increase realized income. Chippity Doodle, we're going to skip over. All right, Conehead now. All right, so Coney, how you doing? Well, buy to close put, buy to close call. Again, maybe people sold out of the fund because they closed out 300 on the synthetic side and then 300 on the covered call side. So that is a $1.4 million realized loss. And yeah. So Circle or Circo, what are they doing? Buy, call, sell, put. Okay, buy, call, sell, put. All right, that's what, 1,000, 1,100. So that's totaling 2,100. And then here's the call that they opened. That's for this week, actually. So they did open a 137, 5% out of the money. Again, this one's super volatile. So it's probably going to have a really nice dividend. Which reminds me, they will announce the distributions in about 35 minutes. I'll probably end up pulling it up on the phone and type it. I don't know if I'm going to type them all while we're live, but you guys can let me know. What do you think? Yeah, skip over Carvani, Disney, Dr. Dre. Because Dr. Dre said, nothing, you idiot. All right, let's see. GPTY, LFGY. Yeah, too much. We went over MSTY. Let's look at Marrow. Let's see, buy to close put, sell call. But again, maybe people sold out of the fund, but they actually made money on the way out here. They actually made $98,000 because the synthetic was in a good spot. It's at 19 when the price of Mara is at 20. So that's pretty damn good. All right, Netflix, how you doing? Let's skip over Netflix, actually. Let's go to NVIDIA. All right, buy to close put here. Cheaper, much cheaper than the sell call. So you get a nice $1.2 million credit. They closed out 700 contracts on the synthetic, and then they closed the covered call, which actually is in a good spot too. It's a 190, and the stock price, at least the close price, is 181. So they made $826,000 in realized income yesterday. PP up in here. What's up, PP? All right, RDYY. Here's TSLY. How you doing? Let's see. Buy to close put. Okay, so they're closing out some contracts too, 500 to be exact, and they're way ahead on their synthetic. They have a synthetic 420. You can see the stock price of Tesla is 442. So they made about 2.2 mil on in realized income from the long call of just a piece of it, right? Obviously, you net that with the put. It's 1.3 mil. Now for the short call here, the one that expires on Friday, they closed 500 contracts here. This one's still, it's out of the money. Wow, 457. Oh, you know why? I think they have earnings. I believe earnings is today, actually. Someone in the chat, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why I'm looking at. I'm like, this is like 3% out of the money. It still cost them a pretty penny. But again, it's because earnings, when you're trading options over earnings, the volatility is obviously going to be a little higher because, you don't know. It's the unexpected. So that's why, the premium is going to cost you, it's going to be good or bad, right? If you're closing a position, sucks. If you're adding new positions, it's good. Like for this put, for the call, yeah, it's good because we made a lot. In the end, actually, we made $1 million in realized income for TSLY. Winter made 202,000 for what it's worth. Who else? Let's look at YBIT again. I think YBIT is underappreciated. Everyone loves MSTY, right? But YBIT actually tracks IBIT, like MSTR. Anything can go haywire, right? I know everyone loves Michael Saylor, and why wouldn't you, right? But you got the risk of the company. You got the risk of him. What's the risk in IBIT, right? BlackRock. I mean. So if you're like, you just want the Bitcoin volatility and you don't want any noise behind it, YBit makes sense. Or if you're just a complete degenerate like most of us are, then MSTY is more your style, I'm sure. All right, anyway, buy to close put, sell call, 65. That's in a good spot. But yeah, buy to close call here, 62. Weird spot, actually. 11/21 expiration. They lost 96,000 in the process, but whatever. Chump change, right? Chump change. So those are the trades from yesterday. FYI, now I add them to the all trades. So again, this will have, this file is eventually going to get pretty big. So we'll have to come up with a strategy, maybe an archive. So you can see I copied it here. So since I did that, obviously the pivot here would pick up. So then you could see how much everyone makes. So we have the realized from the first week, which was last week, and now we're on the second week. So you can see now this is picking up how much each fund made per share for the week. All right. Thank you for the update. Yeah, we have 415 people. Good morning, all of you. I know some of you are on X, some of you are on YouTube, and I know it's the crack of dawn, but this is when we go live. Why do we go live so early? Well, we work, right? We have jobs and we still work, so we have to do what we go live when we can, which is basically before work, 6 a.m. So it is what it is. Some people watch live, some people join later, but either way, it's all good. Appreciate all you suckers out there, especially you coneheads. Oh, I see the conehead there. What's up? What's up, conehead? All right. Anyway, let's see who's making big bucks. Let's check it out here. Again, I got to get rid of the fund of funds ones because those are going to get screwed up. AMD 6 cents per share so far. Again, this has nothing to do with what they're declaring today. We know Circo is doing good. They're up to 37 cents per share. Dr. Dre, man, $1.37. Woo-wee. Woo-wee. All right. Oh, damn. GMEY is taking names. $3.56. Oh, my God, HIYY. What in the actual hell? I got to go look. Let's see. Trades. Maybe was it from yesterday? Yeah, they made 5.2 mil. How much are we up to here? Let's see. Yeah, 5.2 mil. So let's check out one more trade. What the hell did they make money on? Adding to the synthetic. Yeah, the $60 synthetic. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Again, it doesn't really matter where they enter the synthetic. One thing I'm learning is Delta 1, right? So if you buy a call, sell a put at the same strike, same expiration, same everything, right? They're going to add up to a delta of, of 1, right? So what does that mean? That means dollar for dollar, it moves $1 for every dollar movement in the underlying. So if it moves $1, when the underlying moves $1, it's a 1-to-1 movement, right? So that's the idea behind the synthetic. Again, it's something I'm going to start to keep an eye on. Obviously, it could be like 1.02 or 0.99, I assume, but I don't know. It's just something to keep an eye on. But yeah, okay, $8.13 per share. Wow, none of these even round up to pennies. Okay, whatever, whatevs. All right, let's move on. We got the ETF info up in her. Outstanding shares. Again, this is where we track the outstanding shares, the ETF price, the assets under management, and then we double check a few things. What I'm going to do is, again, stats. This is tracking now. Who are the big five? Who are the 5 biggest funds? MSTY, ULTY, NVIDIA, TSLY, Coney. All right, and they're all in the $1 billion club. So, and by the way, check out the ETF inspector. He's now covering the $1 billion club. So he's covering any funds that are over $1 billion. So, that's not going to be easy. So make sure it takes a lot of time. Make sure you go show him some love. YieldMax is approaching and joining the $1 billion club. Question for ETF inspector if he's here. Is he actually going to cover YieldMax? that'll be pretty easy, to be honest. I don't see how that actually won't be bad, because you can just track like when they add or remove things. But Platy's coming up 657 YMAG. Yeah, pretty much nothing too exciting. And then we got the 30-day IV. Let me see if let me sort Z to A. Yeah, I don't know. This is stupid. Like, why this is not sorting? Like, what the hell's wrong with this stupid thing? I'm guessing because there's two pivot tables next to each other. But again, I use Google Sheets for this stuff, but not normally. I'm an Excel guy, but I don't know why. Whatever. So I can't see the highest. I could do the color scale, right? So that's one way to do it, which is stupid, but yeah, let's at least do that. Where is it? Format, conditional formatting. Where are we at? And we'll do color scale, and that way the max value we'll make it green for money, and then the min value will make it red for sucky, right? Let's see how this comes out. We don't want this as part of it, though. Can we just clear one cell? Of course you can't. Why would you be able to? Stupid. Because that skews it the wrong way. So yeah, the highlight, the brightest colors are the highest IV. ULTY is picking up the average IV. Wow. ULTY's average IV, 108%. We got to check out what's in ULTY. Marrow, damn, brah, 97%. Look at this, man. Hims is freaking 109. You gotta love it, though. You gotta love it. But yeah, man. All right, so let's move on. So yeah, that's the ETF info stuff. Then we got distributions. I'm not gonna really go through this tab, but the only purpose of this tab, this is a pull directly from the website. This will pre-fill the distribution based on the formula. And that way when we're tracking the change and the movement in the funds, that will essentially add that back, because we don't want to penalize, the drop in the distribution when we're comparing it to the underlying day in and day out. So that's what that's going to do. But yeah, if we ever had to, I'm calculating the yield here. So we can actually, maybe do somewhat of a comparison of the highest yielder of the week, things like that. I don't know. Again, we could do anything. We could do whatever the hell we want. This is our show, right? Anyway, so let's look at MSTY. All right, so let me hide some stuff here. We don't need all that. All right, so I need if my one of my IT friends is listening, I need some help with these formulas for sure. But this is showing, again, I said I'm going to try to make it the same way as it was. So right now I only did MSTY, right? So if you look at MSTY, and you see, their current price is what, 301, at least based on this formula, right? We don't have to really worry about the synthetic. It is what it is, right? So then we're just really focused on the covered calls. So all these are sell calls. You look over here, expiration date 10/24, 10/24, 10/24, right? So everything expires Friday. And they for sure are scattered. They are anywhere from 300 to 320. Now, how far out of the money are they? Well, at the highest extent, they are almost 6% out of the money. At the lowest, they're in the money by 0.63%. If you look at the pre-market, MSTR is actually down about 2%. So this, they may actually end up in an overall profit with all of these. Again, it is early. Today is what? It's only freaking Wednesday. Oh my God. But yeah, we still have 3 trading days left to go. But again, the idea is we'll do the same thing. We'll cover the holdings as at where we stand for MSTY and some of the others. But yeah, brah, yeah. So I didn't do any of the others. It's just MSTY, and obviously we did the holdings change, and then we could do this on occasion. If anyone has a thought on who we should do the holdings change on for the next video, let me know. All right. I'm up for whatever. All right, let's move on. That just leaves us pretty much with Guesstimania. So we will wait. We got like 20 minutes until the declaration. But you can see yesterday, Group 1 did declare. Just looking at any notables here. YieldMax 65%. It's not bad. YieldMax 73. ULTY 8. ULTY still 9 cents, which I'm surprised, to be honest. I didn't think they'd go for the 90% yield. I had 0.085, which technically rounds up to 9. So I technically said 9, right? Right? Does that count? Yeah. Who cares? Anyway, right? LFGY showing an 80% yield. That's insanity. Salty, 80%. Wow. But again, volatility, I think, is on the rise. So it makes sense that we're getting a little higher yield here. 51% on Chippy. I mean, Chippy, look at this, bro. Chippy's at 58 bucks. Like, is this not the best fund? I mean, of the funds, how is this not the best fund? You know what? Let's check their house money situation. Like, how much have they paid out in distributions? They have paid out $11.35. They launched at $50. That's insane. And now they sit at 57, not 58. So if you're not in Chippy, which I don't even think I'm in, we're missing out, bro. We're missing out because freaking, the nerds are doing good with their little chips and their this and their that. But what are we doing if we're not in Chippy? What the hell is wrong with us? Someone smack us in the head. All right. So, yeah. So that's, again, most of these are funds of funds. We got Feet and 5e. And I was looking at 5e. Again, this... I didn't even think about it, but they're going to pay based on whatever the hell is in the fund, right? I don't understand why 5e paid more, but whatever. We're going to take a look in more detail, like on next Guesstimania. Again, I'll have a better plan for them because they have funds that pay distributions, and it depends what funds they own for the prior week, and they got paid for it in that prior week. Does that make sense? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. And then again, we're waiting for this group 2. They're going to declare today. And guess what? There's a lot of them. There's freaking 42 of these freaking suckers. Hopefully they don't launch any more funds. I don't think I can handle anymore. But yeah, we'll see. I did sort this by largest fund. So MSTY at the top, NVIDIA, TSLY, Coney, blah, 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 blah. So that's going to be, how the coverage is moving forward. So when you do the guesstimates, at least I'll be covering at least the more important ones up front. And then if you could drop off if like the old school ones, or the crap ones, I should say. All right, options trades update. We'll do that, and then we'll kind of wait for the announcement. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I am looking at the chat, so if you have questions, we will bring them up. Quick update today. I have a half day today. We are interviewing the tax goddess. Well, should I say Ambassador of Quan is interviewing the tax goddess, and so is Parabolic. I'm just there to provide the platform, really. Although I may jump in here and there. But she's a tax professional, and it's someone that the Ambassador of Quan knows and was able to book. Apparently, she was on Forbes magazine. So we'll have her at 1 p.m. today. So we'll be live then. I'll be back on YouTube. So hopefully you guys can make it. No, not Space. Well, it'll be on X, but it won't be a Spaces. It'll be like a live stream. So it's streaming on YouTube and streaming on X, if that makes sense, Grumpy Man. All right. Or Grumpy Toad, right? Grumpy Toad. But hope to see you guys there. Let's see. So what are we doing? MSTY, I mean, what's MSTY at? MSTY's at what, 1234? My lowest strike is 13. Someone asked me in the comments, why are you selling MSTY? Again, I'm moving MSTY from account to account. But it's working one way right now because I sold puts in my dividend car account, those are going to get assigned because MSTY dropped, and these are not getting assigned. So what I'll do is after these expire on the Friday, I'm probably just going to do aggressive as hell, right? Covered call, boom, take the premium, let it get assigned, you know, whatever. But now they pay weekly again, their options chain is probably so screwed up that I may just end up selling them outright. Again, I'm making this account. This is the focus of this account is options only. I'm doing different things as it relates to options, not only for myself, but to help, you know, better my channel when I explain, because I'm covering a lot of high yield ETFs. And it's not even, I don't think it's fair that I speak of funds and what they do unless I actually have done those transactions. Like, you know, the synthetic, I've never done a synthetic until about 3 weeks ago or whatever. Now I understand it a little more, right? Things like that. And a synthetic, you know, collar, buying a put. So I think it's going to be better for the overall product and me explaining things going forward. So that's why, again, this account is all options. TSLL, I have covered calls in the money. I got an 18 and a 19. I was considering letting this expire and getting assigned. I changed my mind. I'm going to roll these up and out. I'm going to roll these probably like the 19 to 20, and then I'll do the 18 to 19. That way, again, because I like this wheel. TSLL is a beauty to wheel on. And it just makes so much freaking money, like so much money. And by the way, I haven't done an options trade yet this week. Work has been freaking chaos. So I haven't had a minute to even think. Hopefully today after the interview, I can get some trades in though. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's my plan on TSLL. Obviously I have 2 puts and they're going to expire worthless. They're 13 and 15. All this crap is for future weeks. So we'll take it from there. TNA, nothing going on. Again, I don't know. We'll let it. I have a $50 strike on the covered call. Current price 47. It's 5% out of the money. So again, I don't want to sell puts below my cost basis, which is 35.46. So my put spot is 35. So if I can get money at 35 strike, I'll do it. But it's probably not there right now. Open has been a bit of a letdown. You can see the current price is 696, and I mean, open on the pre-market is crap. It's down. Like this thing has been pissing me off. But you know, I have this on the Roddy trade, which is my synthetic combo, or shall we say, synthetic collar. And good thing for the collar because it's going down. But anyway, well, whatever. We're not wheeling open anymore, at least for now, because we got Roddy. ST, again, I have 100 shares at 250. About to have another 700 shares, but at 3. This thing is just a crapshoot, and it's just waiting. I'm waiting for a recovery. I'm going to be probably waiting a long time, it seems, but we'll see. BMNU, this one I may make a trade today. It looks like it's down 5% in the pre-market, so I may sell yet another put. Hopefully their options chain starts to fill up. Their limited strikes, again, their lowest strike last time I looked was 15, and they were only monthly expiration dates. But again, it's a new ticker, so it does make sense. And then if we look at the leaps, I'm not really making any money on these because, again, open is a crapshoot so far, and TSLL has been green. And if I look at the pre-market, almost everything's red except TSLL. That's the one I could use a little red on, you know, TSLL, when it's not doing it for me. So not nice at all. And then again, we got the open position summary, this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, that's pretty much the update, man. The update. So I'm gonna put some light music on, take a break, and I'll be back right before the announcements. But let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll answer them. Let's do daydreaming. Do 25 because everyone seems to be annoyed at 30. So we'll do that. Damn, Bitcoin dropped. Yo, yo, yo. Audio check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. All right, let's see what's going on. Good morning, everyone. Tesla earnings today could move to, yeah, exactly. Could move it obviously either direction, but the volatility should pay a nice premium when on my rolling order at least. There he is, ETF inspector. We're just talking about you and your $1 billion club. But question, ETF inspector, YieldMax is about to be 1 bill. You gonna add it? Let's see. Really hoping MSTY is higher than all? No, definitely not. MSTY is what, 12 bucks? Nine minutes, yep. TikTok, loud and clear. Thank you, brother. Brother AB. Net fit. Oh, they missed? Wow, that's surprising. Did they go down? Rod, you looking at YPay, WPay? Yes, of course. Yeah, I own WPay. I bought 10 more yesterday, actually. I'm a fan. As long as their underlyings stay decent, I'm a fan. Because if you think about it, it's just bullish on the market. You know, some good underlyings in there, and then you get the leverage, 20-25%, whatever it is, and then they'll pay you distribution in the process. So you don't even have to take the cap gains yourself. They're just going to cut it out for you. Here you go, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. I like it. I liked it. I know it's late, it's not covered calls, but I like it as a part of the portfolio. So I think ULTY is struggling or doing as expected. I would say probably as expected. I haven't really, now that I added them to the daily compare, let's check out the last few days at least. So we got what, ULTY. Yeah, the market was red there. So they went down 2, up 2, down 0.3, up 0.5, and they went down here. So again, it all depends what they own, right? So obviously these days here, some of their, all of their underlyings are freaking volatile as hell. So I'm guessing they're, some of their underlyings maybe have taken a beating. Because when the market is red, typically the higher volatility plays get super red. But at least they do have protective puts. But I mean, ULTY, it's still at $5. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Like they're still, let's go to Guesstimania and we'll show you. If we go to ULTY at the top, they just declared what? Again, 9 cents. So that should pick up in the total distribution bucket, right? So they have paid you $14, right? Let's see. Yep, $14 from inception. Which, again, when do we start tracking the true ULTY, right? Because as you know, they changed their whole process, but they did launch at 20, to be fair. And they have paid out 14. They have paid out 72%. However, yes, they are a $5 fund. So, but if you actually look at ULTY and compare the numbers from the prospectus change, I still think they're doing pretty good. Again, we're yielding 80 to 90%. You gotta assume, right? There's gonna be some super risky things there. So if you don't need the 80, 90, then there's probably no reason to, put yourself through it. But I don't know if that helps. WPay paid today. Sweets. Here we go. We got a question. Before that, let me take a sip of coffee. How's the music? All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Quick question. How does the synthetic play into the weekly payers versus the monthly? Well, when you say the monthly, there really is no monthly except the target funds. But I just don't think, since they paid less frequent before, they paid every 4 weeks. I think they may have considered the synthetic and how much it would have gone up or down. More so in those because there's less payments to make. since they're now weekly, my guess is they're going to try to spread it out equally and try to have a consistent distribution. So if they make bank on the synthetic 1 week, I don't think it's going to matter, right? I think, yeah, you may get a little more, a little couple points, but nothing like we're used to, like sometimes every 4 weeks. Some of again, like the Plady payment, both $7 or whatever the heck it was the one time, right? But yeah, I think the weekly payers are just going to be more consistent, which I think is good for everyone, right? Everyone likes consistent income. All right, let's see. Selling options on WPay. Ooh, let me know how that chart is. You know, you and your fabulous moolah. I think you got a thing for her, brah. Poor fabulous moolah. Good morning, Adam. We got 22 for Misty. Your lousy prediction. I don't even remember what I predicted. You're welcome, Kieran. You the man, Kieran. You the man. You the man. Thanks for confirming the music. UN brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Music cool. All right. Usually people like, shut the music off. Shut the music off. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Any other questions? Well, we got 3 minutes. That means I'm taking a sip of coffee. I'm probably just going to pull it up on my phone. On the email, right? Oh, man. We are still live. We have what? 921 people. 923, 924 through YouTube and X. Good morning, everyone. If you have a question, how you doing? Then write it in the comments. If you're on X, what you can do is repost this sucker, and then everyone can see, oh, it's Guesstimania. Let's join, right? It's exciting. Unless people hate wrestling, right? Then they're like, I ain't clicking that. All right, let's see. What's Cynthia doing? Yeah, she's probably singing somewhere. Here's a question. Do you think the new ultra income option funds from Neos Curve will perform better than ULTY's? Honestly, I haven't even looked into it. But good question. I don't know. I don't even know what their prospectus says. Did they launch? What's the ticker? I guess that's a video for another day. There's Anne. Anne is here. Welcome. How many fake retire on dividends are on Discord? Probably 1 million, unfortunately. No, I don't know. It's annoying. We are making the Discord better, though. We have a process. You have to answer questions when you join, and you don't even get access to all the channels unless you get past our moderators. You have to answer questions that they pick and choose to ask. So yes, when you join my Discord, you will get messages from spammers. I will never direct message anyone. Thank you for reminding me on that, Ann. But there are always going to be spammers. I'm not messaging people. All right. I'm never messaging people. If I do, it's through the freaking Discord. Like, so everyone sees it. I'll tag you there. But yeah, unfortunately, a lot. And it's on Twitter too. You'll see it on Twitter. They got the stupid arrow. It's like, oh, come on, man. You know, it's just annoying. Morning, Disruptive Deborah. Yeah, because ain't nobody got time for that. It's very annoying. Yeah, no, I'll chat. I'll chat with you, you know. I don't know. Again, you have to request or tag me. I don't know. But what do you mess with the spammers? I know everyone does that. You miss Yielding Grace's smile. Sorry. She's not here every day. You know, it was a one-day thing. But we can have her on again. We could do like a collab if you want. But for now, you're stuck with my ass. All right. So you get what you get and you don't get upset. Uh-oh, the man, the myth, the legend's in the house. I did mention to them that later today, 1 p.m., you the man, you the interviewer, you'll be interviewing the tax goddess with a special hostess, with the mostest parabolic, and should be a fun time. Email just came out. Oh man, I was having fun, just like chilling and not even thinking. Now you got me working. All right, let's see what the heck we got going on here. Get the spreadsheet set up. I'm gonna go down the line. All right, checking email. Let me take a sip. Oh, they got an alphabetical. Nice. All right, let's see. Misty, can I get this on one page? Misty 0.2122. Where are we at here? All right, people are gonna be happy. I know people are yelling at me about the 16 cents. So there you go. 89% yield. Let's look at NVIDIA. 0.1206. 0.1206. I was a little closer on this one. That's a 40% yield. Okay, let's go to TSLY. How you doing? Let's see. They're at 0.1652. 0.1652. More than expected. Much more actually. That's wow, 100% yield. Good for TSLY. All right, let's go to Coney up in her. How you doing, Coney? No, how you doing? Coney, where the hell you at? There you are. 0.0932. 0.0932. Kind of in line with ULTY. That's a 75% yield. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Grumpy is happy. He said that's pretty good for Misty. Grumpy says, wow, TSLY. Grumpy's awake today. I'm surprised he's even up this morning. I was getting a complex that he only joins, the inspectors. You don't get up anymore to join us, but it's a special day. So thank you for being here, Grumpy. 0.7373 for Plady. Damn, brah. 0.7373. That is a 61% yield. Let's look at SMCY. How you doing? 0.2425. 0.2425. That's pretty good, right? 78% yielder up in her. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's go down actually, I'll leave it on the screen like that. Let's go down the line. AMZY. We are over 1,000 viewers now live on both YouTube and X. So welcome everyone. We're just plugging in numbers. That's what we do. 0.0959. 0.0959. I thought it would be more, but the AMZ is a 35% yield. All right. Up next is your boy, HOOY. 0.7304. 0.7304. How's that? That's a 58% yield. Wow. I thought it'd be $1. I didn't get $1. I didn't get $1. I didn't get $1. Hey. I didn't get $1. I didn't get $1. All right, let's look at AMDY. Let's see, 19 cents. Ooh, a little more than what I thought. That is a damn 101%. We got 200%ers. Woo! All right, GDXY. Let's see what we got here. 0.1447. Ooh, I got that one. 0.1447. Yeah. All right, that is a 47% yielder up in her. All right, let's move on. Phoebe. What's up, Phoebe? Freaking Phoebe. You and your Phoebe. 0.1367. 0.1367. Pretty close on that one. 46% yielder. Again, not bad, bro. Not bad. All right, let's go. Gooey. 0.2096. 0.2096. Let's see. Wow, that's much more than what I thought. Gooey's 79% freaking yielder. Woo! Damn, who owns Gooey? Who owns Gooey, bro? Who owns Gooey? Anyone? All right, Aptly. We have a question. I'm typing the numbers here. People are posting questions. This is not question time. All right. I know paid an average of 0.2, but there is one more week in October. Yeah, honestly, I gave up trying to guess the fiscal year crap. So, you know, I'm done. I'm done with that because maybe they can pay up until the end of the year, right? I don't know. That's a question for YieldMax, but I'm not playing that game anymore. You know, how much is left over? How many? But yeah. All right, let's move on. We got Aptly. We got Aptly to talk about now. Aptly, are they going to pay anything worth a damn? Let's see. 0.1112. 0.1112. 1112. More than I thought. 41% yielder. What's up, Netflix? Let's see. Netflix and freaking chill. I'll take it. I'll do that all day, every day. First year I retire, I'll just watch TV for the first whole year. That's my plan. Just don't even move. Just sit there and watch TV in peace. That's the goal. That's the dream. Keyword in peace. All right, MSFO. Am I going to really do all these? Should I keep going, guys? 0.0743. 0.0743. That is a 22% yielder. Ew, 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 ew. Let's look at YBIT. YBIT 0.0814. 0.0. Hopefully I don't screw up typing. You know, there's a lot of room for error doing it this way. But yeah, man. Should I keep going? Should I keep going? All right, Marrow. Let's see. 0.3628. 0.3628. All right. Yeah, man. Bam, son. Bam, son. Sorry, I know it doesn't matter, but it is fun when it's on the money. 103% yield for Marrow. Oh, Murney. Can't wait to get that penny. Let's see. Oh, we got 2 pennies. Oh my God. Congratulations, Murney holders. You got 2 pennies. Your day has been made. All right, let's go to OARC. You know, the OG. OARC is the true OG. Remember, they launched in the beginning with TSLY. Are they better than TSLY or worse? We don't know. You be the judge. All right, so 0.0803. How you don't? 46% yielder. By the way, did we mention Marrow is 100%? It's 100% yielder club. Again, we're gonna have the 100% yielder club after announcements. You know, it's kind of fun, right? I need to work from home every Wednesday. 0.142, kind of in line with what we thought. This is for SNOY. That is a 48% yielder. Up in her. AIYY. Let's see. Is AI cool? Sure it is. Whatever. 0.0288. That is a 58% yielder. Wow. Wowza. What did Kieran do? Kieran, you are the man. You don't have to do that, but I do appreciate it. So people got memberships. I think, did Miggs do that the other day and I missed it? Did he do it during the interview? Because if he did, I think he did. I can't even tell, unfortunately, unless I see it. But if you did, Miggs, I appreciate you too, because that was very, very nice. But yeah, Kieran's always not freaking generous. He's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. We got to interview Kieran. What do you think? Have him on? All right, TSMY 0.3382. 0.3382. The problem with getting interviewed is you are now doxxed, right? A lot of people don't want to be. All right, XYZY, whatever, 0.1062. 0.1062. What's that payment? That is a 61% yielder. TSMY is 100%. Wait, did we miss that? I didn't even notice that. TSMY, 100% yielder. Good for them. Wow. All right, Carvani. How you doing, Carvani? Carvani, where are you? Where the hell are you? Freaking cars in the freaking vending machine. 0.4082. Yeah, there you go. 0.4082. Okay, I'm running out of energy here. Coffee time. There's now 1,149 people. I'm guessing you guys want me to go through every fund. All right, I'll do this and then I'll get my ass to work. 0.3095. How you doing? 0.3095. Kids are hyper as usual. And snap a do. Babo 100% yielder. JPMO. Let's see what we're dealing with here. 0.0843. 0.0843. Kind of in line with what we thought, 26% yielder. Let's move on to PP, 0.0883. 0.0883. That is 43% yielder. Zomo, we're definitely getting to the end. what the hell is this? 0.0806. That is a 35% yielder. Winter always surprises us. 0.6102. 0.6102. Winter is now in the 100% yielder club. So congratulations. All right, let's move on. Who else is next? Oh, we got Fiat. All right, 0.0517. 0.0517. Is that good? I don't know. Let's see. Fiat is in the 100% yielder club. So congratulations, Fiat holders. Disso, don't diss me. 0.0957. 0.0957. Little one's trying to get in the room, I think. 39% yielder. BRKC, let's see, 0.1528. 0.1528. Berksea is a 16% yielder, which, again, what do you expect? Their IV is actually 11. ABNY, 0.1491. Okay, that is a 77% yield. Robley, wow, there's more than I thought. Robley, 0.7554. 0.7554. Moving on, that is a 79% yield. Dr. Dre is up. Let's see, 0.7015. 0.7015. That is a 100% yielder, 101% yielder for Dr. Dre. And then we got Crash, 0.0398. 0.0398. At least I get this done now, right? I don't have to do it later. 70% yielder on that. And then YQs, again, this is the inverse Qs, 0.0424. 0.0424. What yield is that? That is a 17% yield. And then we got Dippity Doodah. So again, there's a song for that. Dippity Doodah, dippity day, dip, dip, dip. What a wonderful day. 0.04. That's 38% yielder. RDYY, how you doing? Let's see. 0.6077. 0.6077. That is a 75% yielder. GMEY, I'm expecting big things here. Let's see here. 0.5656. So LT. There we go. 63% yielder there. And then we got Circo. How you doing? Circo. All right. 0.8908. Okay, 8908. If I could type, that would help. Damn, Circo's in the 100% yielder club. HIYY. How you doing? Or hiya. 0.6267. 0.6267. And that's it. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this data. I'm going to filter this sucker, and I'm going to tell you who is filtered by condition greater than 100. I want to know the 100%ers greater than 100%. Okay. Boom. There we go. This is the recap here. Who paid 100%? TSLY, AMDY, Marrow, TSMY, Babo, Winter, Fiat, Dr. Dre, and Circo. All right. So, that was a lot. We almost have 1,200 people still listening. Wow. That's amazing. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching it live. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you all for watching after the fact. Again, I appreciate you guys too, because I know not everyone wants to get up at crack of dawn, especially West Coast. But yeah, as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. And this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, then come back tomorrow and maybe, just maybe, we'll entertain you. But outside of that, if you enjoy this content, hit that like button. Hit it. And then that tells YouTube and X that, you know, this is the best. You know, Guesstimania is the best place to be, right? Welcome to Guesstimania. Anyway, that's it. You know, it's freaking keyword time. So let's get to the end of the video so we can move our asses to work. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, You gotta say the freaking keyword, brah. Keyword, brah. Keyword, brah. Keyword, brah. Keyword, brah. All right, I'm not giving you guys an option. I'm gonna make keyword because Ambassador Kwan's still here. He's gonna be mad at me if I don't do this, right? Anyway, the keyword today is the tax goddess. Oh, again, stay tuned. 1 p.m. I'll link that video to the top of the comments. But yeah, 1 p.m. we're going live. Ambassador's doing all the work. I'm just sitting there like do. But yeah, we're gonna be interviewing a tax professional, and we're gonna learn some stuff. You know I am, because I don't know nothing about taxes. I don't really, it's how fun is that? But again, you gotta know, because we gotta be smart about it. We gotta do the right thing and save ourselves some money. But yeah, so the keyword today, if you made it this far in the video, is the tax goddess. Oh, I know you can't type the so I'll just do it for you. Tax goddess. Oh, all right, I'm out of here. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it, and have a good hump day. All right, later.